So, as I said, I will be giving you guys a talk on my time as a DCU student in genetics and cell biology, and I'll be answering any questions that you may have towards the end. So, choosing this course, unlike a lot of people who kind of know what they want to do straight away, that wasn't the case for me. I was really confused. I had gone to my guidance counselor so many times, but I wasn't 100% sure on what it was that I wanted to do. Was it medicine? Was it biomedicine? Um, Things like that. I just wasn't very sure. So I originally wanted to do medicine, and as a second option, I wanted to do biomedicine. But even with these courses, I wasn't very sure that that was what I liked, and that's what I wanted to do as a career towards like as a career for the rest of my life. Um, but I then put genetics and cell biology as a fallback course if I didn't get the points I hoped for. I generally just put this course as an impulse decision. I wasn't like I didn't even expect to get into it because I was like, I'm 100% going to get into medicine, and if not medicine, then biomedicine. Um, so this wasn't planned at all. So things didn't start off as planned, but things ended up going very well towards the end. Um, so did I like particular subjects in school? I absolutely loved maths and I excelled in it. It was my favorite thing to do. I loved algebra, but I didn't want to do it as a course and zone in on things like finance, like actuarial maths or maths and physics. So I do like physics on its own and mix it with maths or something like that. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, even though I really loved maths in school and it was my favorite subject. But then in terms of secondary subjects that I liked biology and French, and I saw myself doing something more closely related to science rather than doing something that was more maths focused, even though I loved maths the most, if that makes sense. But yeah, I wanted to do something like that was more science focused, and if I could do like something on the side, like a little course or a little elective or module on the side, I'd love to do French. And in this course, I've been able to do that. So, did I carry out loads of research on this course? Absolutely not. I didn't at all. I just put this course as my 10th spot on my CAO as a spur of the moment impulse decision. Like I said, I didn't think I was going to do this at all. But it ended up working out in the end for me. Um, was it my first choice? No, but I couldn't be happier in this course now. And even to even like tell you guys a little story, I reapplied for medicine and biomedicine, and I did my CO again in the first year of my course, my current course when I was in first year. I reset the HPAT and I did all of that all over again. And I got into medicine in Cork, and I got into biomedicine as well. When I didn't accept the offer in Cork for medicine, I got an offer for biomedicine in UCD. And I said no to both of those offers because I really loved what I was doing here in DCU in genetics and cell biology. And I just said no, and I just wanted to keep doing what I was doing. And I remember I was in the middle of the practical lab, and I had just gotten the message on my phone from the CAO that I had got an offer for biomedicine. And I didn't even have an emotional reaction. I was like, oh, like, like what do I do now? I don't really like want to do that. So I just continued at my lab and like thought about it more when I got home from college, and I just realized no, this I couldn't be happier in the course that I am in now. So is this course a roundabout way into something else that you would like to do? For me, initially, yes, I did want to do medicine. I wanted to reset the HPAT and do all of that. I got into medicine, but I said no. And then I also had like an idea that if I finish this course, let me just finish this course, even if I don't really like it. And I'll finish it and I'll do graduate entry medicine later on or something like that. And then I realized that I had a love for coding and bioinformatics and statistics and would like to continue my studies into a master's or postgraduate degree in bioinformatics. And if you remember what I said I liked maths, but it wasn't something that I wanted to zone in on. I just kind of wanted to not be restricted to kind of that one section. I want to have like a broad amount of options and be able to do a lot of things. And the modules in this course allowed me to do that. So even though I knew that I wanted to do science and I wanted to focus on science, um, I was still able to do the maths that I loved and coding and the bioinformatics and the statistics. And in your first year, if you do decide to choose this course, you will do like a general kind of introductory course. You'll do physics, you'll do chemistry, and you'll do biology. You'll do all three. And you'll be able to see even then what you like and what you'd like to pursue. It's kind of like a second chance to see like, okay, even if I didn't do this in the leaving cert, I did like one science subject, I did two science subjects, so I did all three. It's a chance to not only test them all, but also further your understanding in those areas and in those sciences. So it was something like around. I did initially want to do like something else, or go into like a roundabout way of getting into medicine. But then I realized, no, like this is something that I really like, and this is what I want to do in the future. So I'll probably do a master's or a postgraduate degree in bioinformatics. So now we'll go into my life as a DCU student. And so my life currently as a DCU student, I am now in my second semester of my second year. We just started on Monday, and I absolutely love this course. The modules are extremely interesting, and I like what I am studying and actively want to know more. I'm part of three clubs: airsoft, rock climbing, and archery. And because I go to the gym and I train arms, so like those were the clubs that I wanted to like join the most. And then I'm a commuter, so I commute to and from DCU from Monaghan. But for my intra-placement, I'll probably get accommodation because it's just the easiest thing to do. Like I'm not going to be commuting to and from work. I just think that'd be a little bit hard. But yeah, that's my life currently as a DCU student. Yeah, and career paths. So I really love coding and biology, as I said, and my passion for healthcare, and I wanted to merge that into a job in the future. But it's not really like there is no name for it. Like you could have like a banker or like like a actuarial scientist or anything like that, or just a scientist or a researcher. There isn't really a name for what I want to do. But that's okay because, like I said, I don't like being restricted and kind of being put into a box. So if you kind of see yourself as that person who doesn't like being put into a box and you kind of just want to be yourself and see what the future holds, I think this is an amazing course for you because you have so many options. There's so many little things that you do here. You have like I have a module now that I'm doing anatomy, and it's just kind of a little glimpse of what I would have been doing into medicine. And I know that okay, I've seen what medicine could have held, like with the anatomy side of things, and I realized that I like coding more, and it's just kind of like it's so broad and there's so many options. There's biochemistry, there's microbiology, there's practicals, there's organic chemistry. There's so many things that you can do. You know what I mean? And you'll find things that you really like. And even going into this course, I didn't know coding was a thing because, as you guys know, I did not research this course. This was an impulse decision. And then I come into this course and there's coding. I'm like, first of all, like I signed up for like a biology course. Why is there coding in it? And then that's the thing that I end up loving the most, and I absolutely love the coding aspect of it and the faster formats and splicing amino acids and all of that thing and cutting them into pieces and all of that, and, problem solving. So what I want to do in the future is I think of how AI will advance healthcare and how we'll be able to monitor and take care of our own health from anywhere. We can become more knowledgeable about our own health also. And although the career hasn't been invented yet, it's something I'm hoping that will exist in the future. So, for example, say maybe some of you guys maybe have asthma or suffer with asthma. And imagine like something, if you guys have a smart home, you have like a thermostat, and this thermostat will tell you, although it won't be a thermostat, it'll look something similar. And you'll have that kind of device that will tell you, okay, outside the weather has like irritants and microparticles that might trigger your asthma, and it's a good idea to like maybe take a puff of your inhaler before you go out, or a puff of your inhaler before you go to your football match or anything like that. You know what I mean? So it's something like that, that really hasn't been invented yet, or maybe aunts, or maybe have a mother who might be presently pregnant or something like that. And if you can see ultrasounds at the minute, ultrasounds are just like a black and white, and the ultrasound tech will like tell you everything that you need to know. It's like, okay, so this is the head, and like if you can see, like this is the foot, this is kind of the leg, and you're trying to like imagine it and you try to see it for yourself. You can't really see it. But in the future, imagine if you had like a 3D rendered image of, the baby, and you could see it for yourself. You could see the heartbeat. You can see that everything is going well. And that's what I mean when you become more knowledgeable about your own health. Also, you can see the blood pressure, all of those little things. And that's kind of what I want to do in the future. And although there's not a name for it, I know that with what I'm learning, that I can implement what I've learned to, do something like that in the future. I think that's just a really amazing thing about this course is that it's so broad. And although that's a niche part and something quite specific, with all the stuff that I've learned, I'll be able to do that in the future. And there's a lot of support from your lecturers and even just student support that can help you with things like that, and they'll tell you that anything is really possible with the stuff that you learn. And so lectures. So since I'm a commuter, I'll be completely honest. There's no point for me to lie and tell you that I go to every single lecture and I'm there 5 days a week and I don't miss a single class. But since I'm a commuter, it's not very easy, and I live in Monaghan. I go to college in Dublin. That's a 2 hour, 2.5 hours, sometimes depending on the weather. That's like a long commute. So since I'm a commuter, I'm not able to go to lectures regularly. But luckily, some lecturers have been kind enough to upload them online. Some classes are compulsory, like computer labs and practical labs, where your attendance is mandatory and it is like tracked, and it is important, and it goes towards your final grade, or you might get penalized if you miss too many classes, things like that. And while lectures are not mandatory, and although it's in your best interest to go, you will know your own capabilities and whether or not you understand the material and need extra help. So, for example, I'll know, okay, so if a lecturer uploads something online and I find that subject or that module, pretty easy, um, then I won't go that day if it's not possible, if the weather's really bad, if I know that there's ice on the road and I like don't want to risk it or anything, I'm like, okay, it's better for me to stay home or something like that. Or if I'm sick, I'm not going to force myself to go, and all those little things where it's not easy for me to make it to class that day if it's not a compulsory class, that I know that okay, I can make up for it, and I can stay at home, read the material from home, do it all online, and then there'll be other lecturers or other modules where, like, for example, I'm not the greatest in chemistry, and I'll know that okay, that's a lecture or a module that I struggle in. It's in my best interest to go to that lecture because he explains it really well, and little things like that. Like I say, like you'll know, and maybe you're like thinking, well, how do I know? I'll know. You'll know. Trust me when I say, like, you'll know which lectures to go to and which ones are better for you to just do at home, depending on your situation. Um, and then you might be wondering what's an assignment and what's a tutorial. So an assignment is something that you're given to do. It's kind of, think of it kind of like as an object, like kind of like it's like an object. Like you're going to do it and you're going to get a grade possibly. For example, I do, in my course I have like some modules are completely final exam written, but most of them are CA based continuous assessment. And the continuous assessment may be in the form of an assignment. So they might tell me to answer a specific amount of questions and send it to them as a PDF or as a Word document, and they'll correct it. And that's an assignment, similar to like homework that you get right now. If you're doing your leaving cert, your A levels, stuff like that. While a tutorial is kind of something you go to, it's like a place. It's not an object, if that makes sense. So a tutorial is something that you're going to go to after a certain amount of lectures. The lecturer might organize a tutorial and be like, okay, so this week we've done the respiratory cycle. Okay, so after we've done that, I'm going to organize a tutorial for any questions that you may want to ask me. Because lectures are maybe not that interactive. You can ask questions, but you're kind of listening, absorbing the information, writing down notes, things like that. While a tutorial is a lot more interactive if you want it to be. You can put up your hand, you can ask questions. Okay, well, how does this do this? And when it goes to the trachea, the bronchioles, all those little things. It's a lot more interactive, and you get a lot more out of tutorials. I think if you're a person who kind of learns by doing and kinesthetic and all of that kind of stuff, you're asking questions and all of that stuff. And sometimes you'll have like word searches or crosswords and things like that, just to help your learning a little bit more. So that's the difference between those two, and how to manage study and have a good time. So this is an important thing, and I know you guys now are probably doing either leaving cert or know your mocks or something, preparing for your leaving cert anyways. And it's really important that you have time for yourself. You don't overwork yourself. And you probably hear it all the time from your teachers. They'll give you homework and they'll give you all these tests in the middle. They'll also tell you like you still have to have a good time. And they really do mean that. Like although you have to study and you have to do well and you have to do your best, it's still really important to relax and not really burn yourself out and reach that peak where you're just kind of tired all the time or stressed all the time. It's not a good state to be in. So definitely take time to hang out with your friends, watch a movie or something, or like even if it's not something like you want to do, like you want to go out or something, just maybe a nice time in your house and just like I know Love Island just started or something yesterday. I need to catch up on stuff, but like stuff like that, where you're just taking time for yourself, and it's just you're just relaxing. While also, you'll know, like, I'm not gonna watch a football match or something like that when I still have, you know, like a whole pile of homework to do or a whole pile of study to do, and like I know that I'm struggling with this particular subject or something. Like, I'm not gonna do that until maybe I get two subjects done and I have like three left for the rest of the week or something like that. Time managing and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just it's a balance, and you'll be able to balance it and stuff like that. So aiming high and what to do to get there. So this is the last slide before I take any questions from you guys. So I actually have a story for this. But I did my first year. I'm in my second year now. Studied, did my exams, did semester one exams, Christmas exams, semester two summer exams. And I was able to rank first in my course, in my class, in genetics and cell biology. And I remember getting the results on day 26th, because it's the day before my birthday. And I remember I was going to be going to Portugal with my friends, and I was just like, okay, I'm just going to check my results. And I was like scrolling down so slowly, like I do not want to see. I just want to make sure that I didn't fail anything. So I'm checking everything, and I'm okay. I didn't fail this. I did well in this. I did well in this. And luckily, I didn't feel anything. But there was a ranking system, and you get to see how you are in your class and how you're doing among your peers. And I had no idea this existed, because I was like, as long as I see all my modules, I didn't fail anything. I was straight out of the website, like it was a portal or something to check all your results. So I had no idea about this ranking system. And then I heard about it when I started second year. It's in the first semester, people were talking about it, and I was like, okay, well, I had no idea this existed. I want to know how I did, in my class. I want to know how I did among my peers and stuff like that. So I contact registry, and like, the portal is already closed, and I don't really know how to check how I ranked among my classmates. Is there any way you can tell me like how I did? And they were like, yeah, sure, no problem. You got first in your class, and well done, blah blah blah. And they gave me like a form or something like that that showed me that just like first out of 26 people. And I was like, whoa, like I had no idea, because I was just genuinely just doing what I could do. I wasn't like, because people will tell you like, okay, first year is not important, and okay, that's fair enough, that might be true. But like you always need to like put the best foot forward. You're not telling you to put like 120% in everything that you do, because even in some cases, I have to sacrifice. Like, there's a 3% assignment and there's a 20% assignment. I'm going to put more of my effort in that 20% assignment than my 3% assignment. And there's sacrificing and stuff to do, but I always say try, no matter what. If you're not going to be able to, put 120% into everything, at least try. And trying doesn't mean, you know, being the best, or you know, being on your computer 24/7 and looking at a screen 24/7, writing notes all the time. It's just really about trying. Like, you're not just going to put a full stop onto a Word document and stuff like that in. Like, at least put a little bit of effort and try a little bit. You know what I mean? So that's always the biggest thing that I say. So even though because you go through your whole life where people tell you, okay, the junior cert isn't important, and then they tell you like, the leaving cert isn't that big of a deal, just get into the course, and then you get into your course, and then they tell you like first year isn't important, it doesn't go towards your final grade. Second year isn't important, it doesn't go towards your final grade. Third year isn't that important, put all your effort into have fun, and then get into fourth year, and then put all your effort into fourth year. But then how long are you going to keep going and listening to people telling you things that are important before you fully try? You know what I mean? Like, some things are more important than others, but at least try, because if you go through your whole life with people telling you things aren't important, you listen to them and you don't put your best foot forward simply because these things aren't important. You go through your whole life where you don't put as much effort or you don't try your best. And I think at the very least, always just try. Like, the best thing you can do is put your effort into things, and that's really, I'd say, how you aim high. And that's really it, basically. So that's the end of my presentation. So I'll be able to take any questions you guys may have. So if you guys have any questions, put them into the chat. Don't be afraid. But yeah, thank you for listening to my presentation, and thanks for being here. You're already putting a good foot forward. So I didn't need to do any research. You guys being here in this talk is a great way to figure out what you guys want to do. And if you're a bit confused, maybe and hopefully I've given you guys a little bit of insight into things. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. What did the first day of the genetics and cellular biology was like? Okay, so I'll be honest again. For the if you're talking about orientation, I wasn't there for the first day. I didn't go to the orientation for the first day because of like intro stuff. Like I like, and I still thought I was going to do medicine and all of that kind of stuff. So I didn't go. But if you're talking about the first day of like full on, like we're getting started. This is first year. The 27th of September was the day that I started, I think. Well, usually it's kind of like intro things. Your lecturers will introduce themselves to you. They'll tell you maybe the structure of things. How am I going to go about um, go about like delivering my lectures? So I recorded on Zoom while I also presented in front of the lecture hall. So if you guys want to go home and watch it afterwards, stuff like that, and they'll maybe tell you, okay, this is how my exam is. 20% is continuous assessment. 80% is final, like written exam sitting in an exam hall. Just little things like that, and then they'll also kind of give you a little like you'll also still do some stuff like you'll go into like the actual module. So I think I think organic chemistry or something like chemistry like that, and she introduced herself. But we did also get started, so it's not just going to be an intro, them saying hello to you, and then you go to your next lecture. They say hello to you, you go to your next lecture. They will get started. So you get started straight away, but they don't push you straight in. It's nice, it's friendly, and then your second class or second lecture with them, you're gonna be full in, to the things that you need to do. You're gonna be able to know what you want to do and what you're going to have to do, what the assignments will be like, and then you'll also be able to go onto your loop page, which is kind of like your little hub with all your modules and all your little things for the week and stuff like that. So it's nice. The first day is very nice. Like, don't worry, it's a day where you kind of want to be able to talk to people as well, and even stuff like, okay, what do you have next, or do you also have this class next? It's kind of a day where um you talk to people, get to know what things are going to be like, and just get accustomed to what life as a student or as a college student will be like. Yeah. But it was basically that. Um, any other questions? I hope I answered your question well, but anyone has any other questions, even if you don't want to ask me now, you can email studenthelp@dcu .ie, I think. Let me just double check that. Yeah, studenthelp@dcu.ie. If you have any questions that you may not have now, you can ask them, send them over to there, or you can also text me on the Unibuddy platform as well. Um, even after this, if you don't want to ask now. What is intended by bioprocessing? That is a good question. I do not do bioprocessing. I do have a few friends that do bioprocessing. I'm more of a genetics and cellular biology student. But you can definitely ask student health at dcu.ie, and they'll probably have a better answer for that. But yeah, we do have modules that mix together. Especially in the first year, we do a lot of things together. And you'll see people from like environmental science, analytical science, bioprocessing, and genetics and cell biology. But I'm not really sure what's meant by bioprocessing. I know they have a few modules that are different to us, and they kind of use stuff like Excel and stuff like that that we don't really use. But yeah, I wouldn't be really familiar with bioprocessing. 2 minutes. Do you spend most of the time doing practicals or note taking? Good question. So I think in my first year I had two labs. In first semester I had I think a biology based lab, or maybe it was three labs. Um, but note taking, it depends. Like note taking is like something like that where it's kind of up to you. Some people kind of just absorb the information and they kind of just take the slides from the lecturer and use them as their notes. But some people like to make it more personalized. But in proportion to practicals and like lectures, there are going to be more lectures than your practicals. So I had I can't remember, I think I had 7 modules. 4 of them I think were lectures and 3 of them were practicals, or 6 of them were, or five, sorry, 5 of them were lectures, 2 of them were practicals. But the practicals are 3 hours long, like it's a 3 hour long lab, if that makes sense. And I had, I think it was two. I think it was two. So on a Tuesday, I think I had chemistry, and then on Friday, which is 3 hours, and then on a Friday, every second Friday, I had like a biology lab, and that was also 3 hours long. So that's 6 hours worth of practicals, while lectures are usually typically 1 hour or 2 hours. So even though you have more lectures, you're going to spend more time in the lab. Like you're going to spend more time in the lab. While in second year, I have one lab and then I think four modules of lectures. So like it's kind of evens out a little bit more, a little bit. But you might, in terms of studying and stuff, it's easier to. Oh, it's over. I don't know. This chat is not enabled as a live session. Okay. I'll still finish the question if you can still hear me. But it kind of evens it out. In terms of note taking, you're going to spend more time studying for your final written exams because I think it's a little bit easier. And then practicals are kind of a lot more report based. Um, yeah, that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But I think that is my time up now. So thank you guys for coming to the live. Thank you for asking questions, and I hope I've made things a little bit easier for you guys now, as prospective college students or prospective DCU students or prospective genetics and cell biology or bioprocessing students. So yeah, I'm just now. Thank you guys for coming.